Puppetry has been in the UK for longer than you might think. There's been written evidence of the art form on our shores from as early as the 15th century. Punch and Judy was first performed in Covent Garden in the 17th century, yet it wasn't until the 20th century that Britain got its first purpose-built puppet theatres. Today I'm in Rhos On Sea, near Colwyn Bay in North Wales, to visit Britain's first purpose-built puppet theatre. Welcome to the Harlequin Puppet Theatre.
The story of the Harlequin begins with Eric Bramall, a performer from Wallasey in Merseyside, who performed in his hometown, on the New Brighton Pier and across the country. His skill and puppetry expertise didn't go unnoticed, and in the 1950s he was approached by Colwyn Bay Council to perform at their new pier pavilion. His show was an instant success and led to the council offering him a permanent theatre space by the bowling lake in Irius Park, where he performed from 1951 to 1956, assisted by his mother for every performance. To attract more visitors further down the coast to Rhos On Sea, the council decided to move his theatre to Rose Point. Bramall would refer to this theatre as the Rabbit Hutch, as it was sadly not suitable for a professional puppet theatre. And as having moved to the area with his parents, Eric was now on the lookout for a new suitable venue. In the area, Eric's mother became friends with Jessie Ford, whose daughter Millicent Ford, who'd watched Eric's shows and followed his progress, suggested that he build his own theatre. She suggested building this theatre in the garden of her large house called Aberhod, on the seafront of Rhos On Sea. Eric himself had trained to be an architect, and his specific ideas were helped by local craftsmen and tradesmen who brought his ideas to life. Influenced by the 1951 Festival of Britain, at which Bramall had performed, the theatre was a modern design and was formally opened by Sir Clayton Russon OBE, then President of the Festival of Wales, on the 7th of July 1958. The building split opinion in the late 1950s. Some considered it foolish to build a theatre, whilst most theatres around the country were either closing down or transformed into bingo halls. Whereas others were enthusiastic that a theatre designed and built for the sole purpose of performing marionettes could even be contemplated, let alone built. With a strong repertoire including plays, ballets, operas and variety shows, 56 different productions were performed and produced at the Harlequin, a tremendous achievement for any theatre. In 1963, Bramall conceived and directed Britain's first international puppet festival. A new puppeteer, Chris Somerville, joined the team shortly after opening as Eric's mother's health started to deteriorate. Chris learnt his craft from Eric and quickly made himself an invaluable performer. By the 1970s, audience numbers were sadly starting to dwindle. Regular tourist patterns of holidaying had changed in the lure of cheaper foreign holidays. In order to maintain a regular income, Eric and Chris upped their endeavours by adding additional seasons as well as increasing television engagements and several years of entertainment on cruise ships. Eric Bramall sadly passed away in 1996 and leadership was passed on to Chris Somerville. Adapting shows in the theatre to a smaller cast, Chris would sell tickets, show audiences to their seats, and sell ice creams during the intervals on top of his performance duties. The theatre was awarded Grade 2 listed status on its 65th birthday in 2023, 6 months after the sad passing of Chris Somerville. The theatre is now owned and run by Michael Dixon, who's also the chair and archivist of the British Puppet Guild, which recently celebrated its centenary year. There is a small front of house area with a large driveway and outside area overlooking the Rhos Promenade. The theatre is undergoing a refurbishment with the aim to fully reopen for the Christmas season for 2025. On my day of filming, the theatre was open to an invited audience for a performance of the Harlequin's music hall show, followed by the cabaret of marionettes. The clips you see were from the performance and filmed with permission by the team at the Harlequin. The end-on auditorium has a capacity of 118. The murals in the auditorium were painted and designed by Bramall himself. They were painted in the week leading up to the theatre's opening, with the plasterwork still wet on the walls. The majority of the features in the theatre are original, which includes the letterbox staging, sound, and lighting equipment. Part of the Harlequin's refurbishment includes new electrics throughout the building. Whilst bypassing the original tech from the 1950s and 60s, some of the features, such as the dimmers, will still be in place to preserve its heritage. The Marionette Bridge is much smaller height-wise compared to the bridge at the Little Angel Theatre. The puppets used here are short-string marionettes, and I was kindly given permission at puppeteering on my arrival. As the puppeteers can't be seen by the audience, scripts and cue cards are able to be hung freely backstage. The principles of lighting a puppet show are different compared to lighting a stage show with humans. You'll notice the reliance on side lighting and footlights in order to create a more dramatic performance, as well as avoiding major shadows. Eric Bramall is recognised worldwide as a master in marionette construction and performance. The theatre houses his collection of 1,000 puppets, some of which were constructed as early as the 1940s. Among the collection includes this marionette, Puppeteering a Marionette. Make sure to follow the Harlequin online and visit its website for full details on its reopening. The Harlequin Puppet Theatre is steeped in history and is worth visiting this important and magical British theatre.
Thank you for joining me on this tour of the Harlequin Puppet Theatre. If you're ever in Rhos On Sea, Colwyn Bay or North Wales, make sure you come on down, see a show and support your local theatre. My huge thanks to Michael and all the team at the Harlequin Puppet Theatre for showing me around today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe as we get to explore more theatres around the UK. And my next question to you is, which theatre should I visit next? Let me know in the comments below. I'm David Burchhardt, and I'll see you on the next stage.